Welcome everyone. So today we are going to see the introduction of the calculated fields in Tableau. So what are the calculated fields? Calculated fields allow us to create the calculations that are not present in the data. And for that purpose, we can, as you can see on the screen, can click anywhere on the data panel here, or even you can click on the drop down, that is little drop down available here, and say create calculated field. When you click on this, a editor appears here in front of us, and in that editor we are supposed to give the appropriate name to the calculated field. For example, I am just putting the appropriate name as of now, calculated field, just for the example purpose. In that we can create any simple calculated field like using the formula. For example, we had taken this one mall store dataset in our Tableau, for which I want to calculate something. Say, let us calculate the profit margin. Say, so we are going to create a margin, profit margin. So I will give a apt name profit underscore margin, and after the name entered, let us create a formula. So we have two columns, you can see here, sales, total cost, unit price. So for the formula purpose of the profit margin, we are going to use the sales and the total cost as the numerical columns here. Oh, fine. Bracket sales, I can drag the sales directly here. You can see a little orange pointer that is allowing me, it is directing me where I can keep that, drag this column. So I'm dragging it here, sales minus the total cost. I'm dragging sales minus total cost here, bracket close, and the whole subtraction divided by the sales. So again, your pointer allows me to paste it here, and after this you can see the calculation is valid, it says. That means our formula is justified and syntactically correct. Now just click OK, and you can see the profit margin, a simple calculated sample of the calculated field is appeared there. So you can see here a green pill has appeared. The green pill means it is a numerical column that has been created. So this is a sample calculated field. Now let us see how to create a calculated field using a logical function. Again, I'm going into the drop down here, create calculated field, and for logical function we can use like if, else, and, or, not, etc. All those, using all those logical functions we can create the calculated field. Let us create one of the example where I want to say if capital, so it is prompting me in capital, so I will press the tab button. If the sales is greater than 1000, then, so it is prompting me to be in capital, so I'm doing the tab thing. In the tab thing, then what? Then the appearance of the string, let's say high sales, or I will say huge sales, else, tab, else low sales. Fine. It is showing me the calculation contains error. Okay, after sales we have to say and. Now let us check the calculation is valid now, and then say OK. But before that I will put the appropriate name for this logical functions calculated field. Let's say sales remarks. Let this be the name of the calculated field. Say OK, and you can see now the calculated field, which is a categorical column, now has appeared as a blue pill here. So this is the example of logical functions calculated field. Now let us go for the calculated field using the string calculations. For that purpose, let us open the mall data into Excel so that we can understand a bit detail which is required one. Now you can see now you can see guys here the category column is there along with the subcategory. we can create a concatenation of these two. Let us go into the Tableau for creating its calculated field again. Here I go into the drop down again as usual, create a calculated field. The name of the calculated field be concat. To concatenate the two fields, let's say I am choosing the category here, so I will drag the category. I want to concatenate it with subcategory, so I'm choosing after plus sign, I'm choosing subcategory. Now we can see here in the Excel we had these two category and subcategory, so it will be concatenating like furniture bookcases, furniture chairs. So accordingly it will happen here, and it is showing us the calculation is valid. I'm saying okay, and hence the concat field is appeared. Now you can see here, if I put it in the text, all those concatenations appear here one by one. That's it for the calculated field using string calculations. There are so many similar features we can do using string. Next is, let us understand the calculated fields using date functions. Let us take one of the example, like taking the date difference in terms of the days between like order date column and the shipping date column. What is the duration of the date differences between these two? For that purpose, I will again go to the calculated field, create calculated field. Let's say name as date difference order. In that, use the date difference. I will choose date difference. The syntax shows the first value that should be entered as a date part. What part of the date you want, whether the day, the month of the year or the year. So I will choose I want in day. So double quotes day, then comma the start date. Of course, first you order, then it is shipped. So start date should be the order date. So I'm dragging here the order date in this part, and then comma. After comma it is prompting me to enter the end date, of course ship date. I'm dragging it in the proper place, and let us check whether the calculation is valid. Yes, the calculation is valid. Click on OK, and the date difference order is appearing as a calculated field in the green color. Why? Because this is a numerical created calculated field. So if you drag this, you'll get all the information. This is the sum of all this, sum of all the date differences. But you can use it in numerous way to create multiple insight and charts of the data. Now let us create a calculated field using aggregation functions. Now what are aggregation functions? Aggregation functions are like sum, mean, max, count, etc. Average, even. So let us take an example to find the total sum of sales using the calculated field. For that, again I have to go to the drop down here, say calculated field, then let us take the name of sum of sales. Sum of sales, put the sum tab thing in the bracket. You have to enter the expressions, that is the sales. So I will drag here the sales, and it will say the calculation is valid. Say OK, and now the green pill appeared as a calculated field, numerical field. I will drag it into the text here. It will show me the total sales of the whole data, that is 2,297,201. That is how we can create multiple calculated fields using logical functions, string functions, aggregate functions, or even simple formula, so as to get the insight into the data which is not present previously. That is how calculated field helps us to create and drill more information from the data. Thank you. In the next video, we are going to see how to connect to the different data sources. See you guys in the next video.
To know more about Itvedant, visit our website